The war on Christmas was a term the liberal media used to love to make fun of because some people noticed that Christmas, a religious holiday, was being secularized. Celebrated as the birth of Jesus Christ, or as history buffs love to point out, that the date was taken from a pagan holiday and simply rebranded. But it doesn't really matter either way because both options are based in religion. So, throughout the years, Santa has replaced Jesus, Merry Christmas has been rebranded Happy Holidays, and meanwhile, Hanukkah remains untouched, but it's basically the same holiday. Even if the origin and meaning is different, both are religious based holidays in December where you give gifts. So, as atheism becomes the new societal norm, it just goes to figure religious holidays, especially Christmas, which is every retailer's cash cow, would be hastily stripped of religion as to not offend the new morality or lack thereof, and continue to pull in that sweet, sweet, it's better to give than to receive cash. And do you know why it's better to give than to receive? Because you gotta buy a present. Christmas has been under fire by the increasingly butthurt and perpetually offensive for so long that it's become a joke. Like the school play in South Park that goes so far to not be about Christmas that it becomes an abstract nightmare.
Good, it looks like they've taken the Christmas trees down.
Yes, and there's nothing Christian either. This should be great.
As I turn and look into the sun.
What the hell is this?
So, led by retailers, advertisers, and the left in general, Christmas gets put under the proverbial microscope every year. And every year, some new offense is found as increasing sensitivities demand that more and more be altered or removed. And of course, everyone goes along with it. Normal people just laugh it off and let it roll like water off a duck's back, because what we have in this country is freedom of religion. So, no matter what, you can take it out of the public, but you can't really stop people from saying Merry Christmas. It's a constitutional right. Anyway, flash forward to the current year when sensitivities went off like a nuclear bomb, because in the current year, everything is racist.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. So, this article was brought to my attention by a subscriber. A Christmas tree in a police station is racist. So, the Washington Post and other reputable mainstream news outlets reported on Minneapolis police decorate Christmas tree with racial stereotypes in majority black neighborhood. Okay. It looked as though police officers went dumpster diving for ornaments. Hanging from the Christmas tree inside a Minneapolis Police Department precinct were half crushed cans of Steel Reserve malt liquor and crumpled bags of Takis chips and Funyuns. There was a cup from a fried chicken joint Popeyes and 2 packs of Newport cigarettes. Pieces of actual garbage accented by a single strip of yellow crime scene tape that didn't quite cut it as tinsel. If the police thought the scene was a joke, nobody was laughing. No, of course not, because nobody has a fucking sense of humor anymore. Oh my god, look at this photo. Tree uproar. There is an uproar over this Christmas tree. Let's continue, shall we? 3 years ago, community organizers led an 18-day occupation outside the 4th Precinct station to protest the fatal shooting of Jamar Clark, a 24-year-old black man. Since then, activists said at a news conference Friday that they had hoped police would be doing everything possible to improve their relationship with the near North Minneapolis community, rather than seeming to go out of their way to strain it. Now, if you don't know, the Justice for Jamar protest included tents, cookouts. They were having barbecue basically shut it down and turned it into a block party. Oh, and let's not forget when they started throwing bricks and rocks at police cars. That was a real good protest. There's video footage of this on online, and if I can find some, I will play it right here.
Two people who were walking around here earlier said these cops, this police came out with their guns drawn, asked them what they were doing. Then they went back and told folks that everyone marched over here.
Right foot, 2 steps. Left foot, 2 steps.
This is Black Lives Matter,
Slide
ladies
to the
and gentlemen.
left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross.
Okay, let's read on, shall we? Black Lives Matter Twin Cities activist Chantel Allen said at the news conference they have no respect for the lives that have been lost. Of course, BLM is involved, but why wouldn't they be? Okay, that's it for that. So this used to be funny. I mean, this whole like getting mad over, a Christmas tree or this hypersensitivity was funny, but I'm really feeling kind of just drained talking about this. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's continue. And of course, BLM says this is racist. But if you want to talk about races and convenience store food, Takis chips are a fave among Mexicans, and the Steel Reserve and Funyuns are pretty popular among the white trash community. I actually discussed this with some people in different regions, and we all pretty much had the same take on the markets for these products. Also, I noticed it doesn't say the officers' races in the article, which means they probably weren't white. Because if they were, it would be in the headline, as in white officers. You see what I'm saying? And as sad as I am to admit this, a white guy I know smokes menthols by choice. And also, it looks like 3 people got fired over this, so way to go, BLM. Way to go. Now, here's a crazy thought. What if someone went into the police station and stuck empty garbage on the tree for a photo op? Like, I don't know. Someone could argue that a member of a specific anti-police group might have their child sneak in and put trash on the Christmas tree at the police station, to cause controversy so they can stir the racial pot, which would mean a member of this organization snuck trash into the police station, then had their kids stick it on the tree to manufacture outrage. But I'm sure no one would ever manufacture outrage. So we just have to assume that Christmas is racist. In fact, we know that Christmas is racist. Recently, the Historical Society sent out a card that said they were dreaming of a white Dorchester. Of course, sane people took it as a spin on, dreaming of a white Christmas and thought of, snow, not racism, but it's the current year. So the card was met with outrage as perpetually offended took to immediate, offense over the use of the word white. I had to look up Dorchester because I had no idea what it was. Turns out it's a geographical location, meaning snow could technically fall there, and a white Christmas is perfectly acceptable as a non-religious Christmas sentiment. So now I was curious and decided to Google Dorchester, and immediately I'm greeted with articles about violent crime, and looking through Google Images quickly shows that Dorchester is a shithole. Sorry, but that's the hood, yo. Don't believe me? Housley has it on their list of the 10 most violent cities in Boston at number 3. When I think of Boston, I think of baked beans and the Boston Strangler or the Boston Massacre, where the English massacred the colonials. And the Boston Tea Party, well, okay, that one's kind of cool. So I'm left thinking that there's so much white flight in Dorchester that even the snow won't go there. And if you think that is the end of our story, you are sadly mistaken. That is just the tip of the white racist iceberg. Because it turns out that the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special is now racist. Yes, that's right, because of a scene that was overanalyzed by some truly wonderful autists. Franklin is sitting alone at the table in a lawn chair and is eating food prepared by a dog. See, you think I'm kidding about that last one, but I'm not. I'm just going to say that Charles Schultz included a black character in his show when he didn't need to at all. Also, he's not alone at the table. He's literally sitting at the same table with the other kids. Linus is at the head of the table. Is he alone too? The tables and chairs were a makeshift hodgepodge, and last of all, everybody is eating food prepared by the dog. Do you know why? Because it's a damn cartoon. I actually can't believe I'm discussing this right now. While randomly researching, I found out that the retardation goes even deeper. That now, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Christmas special, is under fire because it promotes bullying. Yes, that's right. They wouldn't let him play in their reindeer games. Have you seen the show? Never mind the fact that the thing that made him an outcast was what eventually led him to great success, but because he got his feelings hurt, now we gotta ban it. Are we becoming so weak as a society that even a morality play teaching the overcoming of adversity is now verboten? This really has me worried for the future. Like seriously, what's going on here? This is literally the most retarded thing I've ever discussed on this show, and considering what I talk about, that's kind of saying a lot. So, welcome to the current year where hyperbole is real life. Y'all need to go watch Mike Judge's Idiocracy. It's Netflix has it on disc because it's pretty much coming true. And on that note, let's end with a little bit of feminism as a radio station refuses to play the song Baby It's Cold Outside, a Christmas standard, for being too rapey. Yes, the moral police DJ at some Cleveland station decided that a Christmas song from 1944 was too offensive and was about date rape. Yeah, never mind that Sublime song that actually is called Date Rape that is still getting played on radio stations. A song written by Frank Loesser in the 40s, when movies and music were still censored, is too edgy for modern ears. Let that sink in. Now, in my day, we looked at movies and music from that era and we thought they were quaint or boring, and it was basically considered bland entertainment for our grandparents. But now a show tune from the 40s has just been declared more vile than gangster rap, as none of those songs have been refused airplay based on content, not lyrics. Here are just a couple of quick examples of early censorship in music. In 1933, Congress created the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, to monitor interstate and international communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable. The FCC still monitors radio and hands out stiff fines and penalties for violating their TOS. In 1936, BBC Radio banned George Formby's When I'm Cleaning Windows for objectionable lyrics. The song describes all the things George sees when he's cleaning windows, whatever they may be. Wink, wink. Now, the BBC have always been pretty uptight with the whole sex thing, as Brits are. But so how funny is it in 2018 in the US that we just did exactly the same thing as the BBC did over 80 years ago in 1933? How is it progressive to move backwards? And finally, in 1944, the same year Baby It's Cold Outside was written, Memphis police confiscated records from local stores and destroyed the records that they considered obscene. This is almost exactly what the UK did in the 80s when police raided video rental stores in search of video nasties, movies that were so offensive they needed to be edited to have the offending parts removed or outright banned. Thousands of videos were seized. Of those, 72 movies made the video nasties list and were banned in the UK in their uncut form and remain banned in that country until recently in some cases. Again, we are going backwards, and not just regular backwards, but British backwards, embracing the puritanical outrage which led to the witch hunts. This is literally regressing. I'm just saying. So this brings this episode to a close, and oh, son of a bitch, every time I think I'm done, some new outrage pops up. And outrage just flared over cotton wreaths being racist. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Can't do it anymore. So I bid you all a Merry Christmas, and as always, stay awake, stay alert. We are the new counterculture.